Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 14th of January. So let's get cracking and firstly look at possible risk events that might disturb our trading this morning. Let's just run across onto the calendar first, wake that up, and I'll just do a quick refresh on it as well. There we go. So this morning then, Chinese new loans, there's quite a significant up step there, but compared to forecast, people are borrowing money at least. Whether they can pay it back is another matter, of course. Aside of that, today we're waiting for the core PPI, Producers Price Index, and well, PPI itself coming out there at 130. So that's the limit of today. And then tomorrow we've got the Consumer Price Index for the UK, US. Okay, nothing more than that today then. Speakers, let's just check on. Okay, we should have had all those out aside of the ECB speakers this morning, 7:35, 8 o'clock, 8:30. Okay, there's a few speakers there this morning, and it looks like Fed's mid. There's a few speakers this afternoon as well, so might get a bit of rock and roll from that, a bit of volatility. Right, let's get on and look at the markets then, and we'll start off looking at euro dollar from a daily point of view. So we actually got a bit of a reversal bar there yesterday, a little hammery sort of doji maybe sitting there. How much that's going to hold, we'll have to wait and see, but for now I'm waiting for it to get back to the underside of its weekly pivot, so I am just putting an alert on there for the underside of that pivot with a combination of the 50 and the 34, whether that's this morning or when it is, if it happens, that is. I'm interested. There is obviously the flaggy pattern that's going the opposite way, but still looking for short, so it really depends how this breaks down. I would be waiting a tad before trying to jump in this. I'll just put that in the wrong place. Let me try again. Somewhere around there is the end piece, but we'll see. May need to tidy that up on lower time frames to be easier. There we go. Pop it on the lower time frames here. There is a more aggressive one, but that's really, if we're just going to go without it catching into the weekly pivot there, that's the trend line I'm looking at. But if it catches the weekly pivot, I'm just looking for the reversal bar off of the weekly pivot. So it could take a bit of time there, basically. So that's the euro. The pound, well, it hasn't gone as far in terms of its retrace. Still got the same sort of pattern. It's still got the same pattern kicking in there, but again, I'm just sort of looking at the bear flag. I don't really need to put a signal on there or an alert on there, but either way, I'm looking for the same sort of. We got some decent retraces in the market. Let's see if we can play them any further. Basically, US dollar yen. US dollar yen remained quite strong yesterday. Closed up on the day, or the yen closed up against the US dollar. Remember, this is US dollar yen, so a close to the downside is a positive bit for the yen. It is very consolidated here. I can't remember if I said it yesterday or not, but did some analysis, and there was quite a lot of big money moving into the yen, so going on the long side of the yen. So I would expect this to gradually roll over. Of course, there's a lot on the upside of the dollar as well. But we've seen quite a lot of money, quite a shift towards the long side of the yen, which just might see it strengthen, even if it's not so much against the US dollar, but maybe across some of the cross pairs. Anyway, the US dollar yen here, it is quite messy to try and catch a trade on it at the moment. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, like everything else, still very much in its major downtrend. Again, it's caught a bit of a bid where it's sitting at the moment. Now it is into its weekly pivot. It tried a little reversal bar, the previous one there, but it didn't trigger the bottom of that. If you're looking to see how I get into these sort of trades, I did a video at the week, or put out a video at the weekend, and it'll show you just how and the timing of these trades. But this is certainly not right for me yet. Let's just come down the shorter time frames. Quite a clean move up there. It's whether or not it decides to start breaking down. A break of these lows from 2 o'clock this morning could start things going. We've got an untouched daily pivot below. The trend is to the downside. I quite like that, but it has hit its R1 first, so the probability of that pivot being hit is slightly less. In normal circumstances, US dollar CAD. Well, yesterday CAD strengthened, held on most of the day there, strengthened, very similar to the yen at the moment. Just seeing this sort of going nowhere, sort of apart from sidewards. It does make the yen and the CAD reasonably strong against the remaining currencies that are a bit softer, although even they've bounced a little bit. New Zealand dollar here, again, same. It's pretty much the same as the Aussie. I did get stopped out on the trailing stop on this. I could have been a bit more aggressive with it. It had moved further down, but again, this is already broken through its weekly pivot. So in terms of looking for a new trade, I still am quite bearish on it, but it's turned for now. It just worked its way flat yesterday afternoon there, late morning, afternoon. Got that kicker late on, 9 o'clock-ish time. Yeah, not so interested in it as it sits at the moment. Might catch something later, maybe better opportunities. US dollar Swissy. So that returned that New Zealand dollar just reversed, and it ended up returning 1.3. So it wasn't what I was looking for, around about 3 to 1. It was only it's caught slightly less than half of what I wanted, but that's the idea of a trailing stop. If you're not absolutely sure, well, we're never absolutely sure we're going to catch a specific target. Anyway, dollar Swissy, well, this is kicked through yesterday, continued, it's turned a little bit of divergence over the highs that's triggered the short side on that for now. Below its daily pivot at the moment, down towards its S1, does look like it might just turn around a little bit more. Certainly not interested in that at the moment. Okay, finally the euro yen out of these. With the euro yen again yesterday, it ended up as a down day, but we've got this biggish flag sort of pattern kicking through at the moment, which has come back to the underside of the quarterly pivot. And reacting to that, it's quite a mess as it sits here. Would on this one look to draw probably across this low and somewhere around there. Just see how it comes out. It might be worth waiting for it to break the daily pivot the way it's shaped up here, but we'll see how it closes today. It's not really set for me quite yet. Okay, that's the majors. I'm going to look at the major crosses in my trading room in a short while. Aside of that, then let's have a look at gold. What's gold been up to? See, gold got a reversal yesterday as the dollar was sold off the Gold came off a little bit there. On the shorter time frame, if it was to start breaking down the lows of around about 2666, it's a bit of a devil, isn't it? If it started breaking down, then it could come back to its lows or even further. But it's going really against that bigger trend that's sort of sitting there. Okay, gold, oil's down this morning as well, but having yesterday run up to break the or run into these prior highs here. They're just round about these whole group of prior highs. We'll see what sort of reaction it gets off there. Not looking to short from where it is at the moment, but a reversal would be quite nice, and then we might get a bit of a move back towards its weekly pivot. See how it goes. Short term though, it's still real. It's not a flag as such now, so it's sort of the flag itself is almost down to the floor. But we've got this little trend there. See how it reacts here. This could pick up again today, so I wouldn't discount that. Even if it's running it back to its highs, we'll have to have a look and see whether it's worth trading it, but that's a possibility. Equity markets, S&Ps, again they turned around a bit yesterday. We saw this same sort of move. There is a potential on the short side into the weekly pivot here. I know the Dow, we did this late last night because my alarm alerts went off. There you go, that's actually broken through. If it was to break back below, perhaps that could be of interest. We'll see what happens on the Dow, so the Dow might be a bit more interesting. It's particularly if it doesn't go up and push and hit that R1. I prefer the probability of it getting back to its daily, and there may be some more. Okay, that's pretty much it for this morning at the moment. I will leave you there. Take care, have a great day's trading. Bye for now.